shoot. And it was like, oh shit, this is really working. Like, I'm making T-shirts, and I was like, oh fuck, you know. And then it was like, all right, you know, I need to find a spot. And I was like, you know, going around all these realtors, and they're like, yeah, you know, you don't have the capital, you don't have this, you don't have that. And I'm like, dude, is anybody? Like you have, I'm like, I've been looking at your spot for the last 6 months, no one's been in there. Like, when are you going to put somebody in there? You know? But I think having that mindset, like, I've got to have a place, like, not that, it's not that I got to, like, I'm going to. Like, I'm going to have a spot, and I'm going to look around like I have the money for it. I'm going to look around like I can do this today. And then one night, a guy was like, hey, do you train Muay Thai? And I was like, you know, so I never really made it a real business, like, because I was working on public grounds, so I never really asked for monetary, you know, compensation. Right. It was just like, just come out and train for free. And the whole free thing, that really pissed some people off. And I heard a lot of people like, oh, it's bad for business and this and that. I'm like, I'm training, you know, and sometimes...
I went to the park and trained with my friends during the quarantine.
Yeah, I know, but I guess because I really was kind of taking the reins and being like, yeah, you know, let's do this, let's do that. So I was kind of making it like a class setting, and real, you know, it was organized.
I mean, you were a coach before. I get it.
Yeah, so... But, you know, the guy came and he's like, hey, you know, no, are you teaching Muay Thai? I was like, who's asking? And he's like, yeah, I've got a spot. I want to do, you know, some stand-up. You know, I've got a mat space. You know, you can come and train. You can do things. And I was like, oh, yeah, I do this. This is what I want to do. You know, I've already got the LSE, this and that. I've done all this stuff. And I've got some people that, you know, willing to follow me wherever I go. He's like, let's make this happen. I was like, well, hell yeah. So, but I mean, I did start, like, it technically was official by June. So in the middle, it was like right when everybody was kind of being relaxed, not really as far as gyms. But then he asked me at the end of August, and then by the beginning of September, when North Carolina said, okay, you know, gyms are good to go, you know, it was just prime time. Like, it just worked out perfectly. And it was like the very first week that it was like, all right, you know, gyms can be open. I had already scheduled a class, and I was like, this is perfect. So it was like, it just all worked up. It just all worked together. So the fact that, you know, just did what I could, you know, and not even, like, what pandemic, like, other than, like, some people are like, oh, I don't know if I want to come out and train, but like, we're outdoors, we're not going to do any clinch, you know, we'll stick to pads, you know, and stuff like that. We'll try to keep it as safe as possible. And a lot of people didn't even care about it, but I mean, there's some people like, what are you going to do about COVID? And I'm like, yeah, you don't have to come in. Don't worry about it.
All right, yeah, you know, we all got our approach. So speaking of, right, you're saying, like, yeah, you don't do clinch and stuff during that. Tonight in class, it was purely bag work. Everyone sticks to their own bag and, like, does that. What's going down for, is that the standard for class? Do you change it up time to time? Is it like, we're going to hold it that for now and we're going to start doing partner work later? Like, what's the thought process?
No, I don't mind it, but we've been doing partner work since we opened, or a couple weeks ago. But the bag class is just, it's just like one class where it's more fitness oriented, yet you're still getting a lot of repetition, but you know, you're
fitness oriented.
Yeah, it's fitness oriented. Like, you know, you're on the bag. It is set. Yeah. You get set combos, and you work them for a few minutes, and we're doing push-ups, squats, and you know, abs and stuff like that, and really trying to push through. You know, I want everybody to go at their own pace, but yet I'm trying to push people. So the bag class is, you know, just more like pushing yourself, getting your heart rate up, but yet we're still doing combos, and I'm not just like, oh, okay, do this and let's go. You know, I'm sure really trying to break it down and, like, make sure we're doing it this way. You know, get the technique right, but yet it's still more fitness oriented. But as far as other classes, you know, I've got my fundamentals classes, which we're really doing like footwork and you know, really breaking down the fundamentals. It's not like beginners, like, okay, this is how you throw across. You know, I'm not getting that watered down, but you know, we're still working together. And then I have all levels class, and I want to do more, but right now it's just the bag, fundamentals, and all levels. And all levels we're doing pad work, and we're really working with each other, working partners, and maybe even doing drills where we're just holding our own gloves and doing stuff with each other, still kicking each other. But yeah, for as far as right now with clinch, I'm gonna kind of stay away with that for now, and not just because it's COVID, but because I've started a new program. I want everybody to kind of learn the basic stuff, and clinch is still kind of basic, you still need to learn that, but I want to get everybody acclimated with like the whole drilling with each other and holding pads and, feeling the power of each other, and then like, okay, now your neck's going to get worked and you might get dumped and, stuff like that. I'll introduce that later, but yeah, it's kind of a 50-50 from the COVID thing and just because everybody's new.
Okay, cool. Well, just briefly, give me a little breakdown of what's to come. What's the future looking like? Like, are you guys going to push towards doing competitions? Are you looking to build the team up for a while? Just the shorthand.
Yeah, definitely trying to bring people in, whatever that can be. Like, I want to advertise like kickboxing, cardio stuff. I think that's what really brings people in. Like, people who want to be a Muay Thai fighter but don't want to get hit. Like they can go to their friends like, yes, I train Muay Thai, but when they come here, it's like, yeah, I don't want to do that. It's like, so I got to bring those people in to like pay for the space and keep the money coming in. Actually pay for stuff. But yes, in the future, I want to like build up my own team, competition team, anybody who really wants to be like involved with Muay Thai, and that's what I really wanted in the first place was. I like my philosophy was like I would rather have one with passion than 10 without. So it's like if I only had 20 people and they all want to be here and they're here all the time because they want to do Muay Thai and not just because they're just trying to raise their heart rate and then go home. Like, that's fine, but I understand I gotta pay the bills. So bringing those people in is one thing, but competition, yes, like sparring and doing the clinch work, having advance and having a competition team, that's definitely something that's going to be in the future. Now, I don't know how near future, how far, but it's definitely in the future. And growing, and the biggest thing for me is like, it's not about the money. I tell myself that all the time. Like, and some people are like, well, yeah, you still got to pay bills. I understand that, but like, I'm not trying to have 300 people here because I want to get rich. I would rather have 300 people here because they know that this is the only spot that has Muay Thai only. Like they have a guy that's only focusing on Muay Thai, and then, hey, if when you come to town and like, let's just take for instance me. If I go to a new town because I'm visiting somebody and I'm going to be there for 4 days, like, I want to train Muay Thai at least once or twice while I'm there. Okay. I want to train all 4 days, but. So I get there and I'm like, I'm not putting in martial arts gym. I'm putting in Muay Thai. Mm-hmm. And I bring up, if it's got like, this MMA gym has Muay Thai, but then someone else has like something Muay Thai, like I'm going to that one first. Okay. And that's what I want. I want people that want to do Muay Thai, they see there's 4 different, 5 different, 6 different places they can go to, but there's only one place that says Temple Muay Thai. And they're like, all right, I'm going to try that one out. And they come here and they're like, okay, these people are doing Muay Thai. Like, they're all about Muay Thai. So if I have 300 people because I'm sticking to one thing and I'm like specializing in one thing and not really generalizing, like I feel like that's going to be, that's really what I want. I want a good gym that everybody talks about. Like, oh shit, like, they're coming out of Temple Muay Thai. That's a good gym. They got good footwork, this and that, blah blah blah. They're known for this. They're known for that. Like, I'm not trying to get rich, but I do want a good gym. So.
I mean, I feel that, like, to have that, like, sense of focus and especially right now where you're on the smaller side, absolutely. Like, every city I go to is going to have blankety blank BJJ and MMA, and it's going to have MMA and BJJ and Muay Thai and, like, kids classes and, like, fitness classes. It's going to, that's the model that's, like, become bigger, do everything, and so I get it, like, I respect that like focus and that really driving in at what you want to be good at. So, where can we learn more about your gym, about you? Any shout outs you want to do? Now's your chance. Throw it all up there. Let the people hear it.
So it's still a lot of it's in the infancy stage. Of course, my Instagram is Temple Muay Thai and Fitness. You can go there. Please check it out. Give me a follow. Stay up to date with the stuff. you know, TempleMuayThai.com, Temple Muay Thai Facebook, you know, Temple Muay Thai, well, Temple MT Outlook. I know a lot of people really don't email anymore, but you know, some of the old school guys, you want to do that, hit me up there. Yeah, and then Temple Muay Thai YouTube. So I don't know how you say it. Is it YouTube / Temple Muay? But yeah, Temple Muay Thai YouTube. Again, a lot of it's...
I'll link it on there.
Yeah, well, it's got one video. It just says, "Hey, welcome to Muay Thai." Muay Thai. But I've got a lot of ideas, and my brother's coming in town in a couple of weeks, and he's a real big fitness buff, and so I want it to be like a lot of like fitness, you know, fitness related, but still Muay Thai. Like, and I know I'm like, oh, I just want to be Muay Thai, but then I'm like, oh, it's fitness.
Yeah.
But I still want to kind of like draw in a crowd, a wider crowd. But then, like, you know, it's like for the YouTube, it's like I want a big audience. But for as far as, you know, Temple Muay Thai in the future, it's going to be have a little bit of everything, because I still want, you know, I don't need you to like know how to throw a perfect kick, but you can't throw it 20 times. You know, it's like, because I'm out of shape. But anyways, I don't know, I'm getting going off to the left. But.
Well, I mean, yeah, we got it. We'll get all your YouTube, your Insta, your Facebook, all of that shit. We'll get it all linked up. And thank you so much for having me here.
Yeah, man, it was good to see you, man.